Hey everybody, Al Williamson with leadinglandlord.com. I was listening to Jasper on Get Paid for Your Pad, and I came across this episode about how to sell your Airbnb business. And I don't personally know anyone who sold their Airbnb business, so I was listening in, and this is what I heard.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Get Paid for Your Pad. And today I have one of my favorite guests on the show, and you probably will have heard of her because not only has she been on the podcast many times, but she's the author of a book, Million Dollar Host. She's very famous, especially in Australia. So, without further ado, welcome to the show, Miss Julie George.
Hooray! I made it back on Get Paid for Your Pad.
He's talking to Julie George, who is really a legend in the industry. She's from Australia, and she's got a lot of really, really good content on it. And she has sold her business, but I don't know how specifically because all she was doing was Airbnb at the time. This is 2019. All Airbnb, and you can't sell your Airbnb business.
One of the big boys in the industry who is looking to add to their portfolio. And the name of the game for those guys is, and the purpose is to have as many property listings in the portfolio as they possibly can. So a lot of them are investor backed. A lot of them have this pressure on them to grow their portfolio, but it is to go to somebody who is established, who has got future bookings on their calendar already, has got reviews already on their listings, and just partner with them, or to say, let me take over your portfolio and take over your listings. So the Airbnb actual account is something that is being
I don't
sold
know about
as
that.
well.
You
Yeah.
can't sell that account.
Well, let's
You can't sell your Airbnb business or according to Airbnb. Look, the terms of service right here, Airbnb. You go down to number 17 term. It says right here for members account, it says you may not register more than one account or transfer your account to someone else. It says it right there. You can't transfer your account. That means even if you have an LLC, you can't transfer it to somebody else. In fact, your account is not yours, it's a property of Airbnb. Now, they also talk about later on in their terms that they do background checks on all of the hosts. That's another reason you can't transfer it, all right? So it's not your asset, it belongs to Airbnb. So I don't know how she did it. I'm glad she did. I'm glad she sold it, but I don't know how she did it. There must have been some legal loophole, selling a percentage of it or something like that. That's why I'm such a big advocate of you having your own website, your own traffic sources, and knowing how to market for yourself outside of Airbnb. That way, when you show your revenue, you can show it that the next person is going to be able to do the same thing. They're going to be able to pick up your traffic sources that are yours, and they're not going to go away. Because you know, as many people are learning, Airbnb can shut down your account anytime they want.
How good are your profit margins at the moment? You need to show it in black and white how good those profit margins are. Now, in short-term rentals, we have a tendency that we can let a few things slip through into business expenses
That's a good point.
that may not be business expenses. Let's talk personal groceries, fuel for our cars. If you are maybe taking a little advantage of your business structure at the moment to put a few personal items through the books, you might decide to not do that for a while to make sure that your profit margins are looking stronger than ever.
It's a really good point that if you're planning on selling your business, that you really want to watch your expenses. Oftentimes we add on things into our that could be business expenses into our taxes and things just to show that we have more expenses and we reduce our profit. A lot of small businesses do that, especially if it's legit or borderline deductible expense. But if you're planning on selling your business, you don't want to do that. You want to show as much profit as possible. So think about that as you're doing your tax planning.
Yeah, I think you make a really good point where you were saying like you got to get yourself out of the business first, because imagine
Right.
that you're really doing everything yourself and it's your relationship with the homeowner that's the basis for them doing business with you. if you then take yourself out of it, then there's not a lot left, right? So then I can imagine that there's that's going to be a challenge then to convince those homeowners to stay with you, right? Versus if you actually have a team in place that's doing a lot of the work and the communication and et cetera for you, then you could say like, hey, I'm not going to be there, but I'm not really doing anything anyway, right? Like it's my team that's doing the work, and that my team is going to stay the same. So that makes a lot of sense.
Now, another really great point, the third point that I want to bring up is that you want your business to run without you. This is really a key point that they brought out. If you're the face of everything, if you're the face of your interactions with your cooperating landlords, if you're doing rental arbitrage, or with your clients, then you're not going to be able to sell your business. So you want to get yourself set up so that you can take a vacation, that there's someone, a team member there that starts doing the communications. If you're doing rental arbitrage, that the landlord or the owner of the property is not depending on you, they're depending on your team to interact with them. That way, when you're out of the picture, they won't feel upset, they won't disappear, and they won't want to cancel their account with you, and the place will be transferable to the new owner. So those three things are the things I think you should really know about if you're thinking about selling your Airbnb business. In fact, if you're trying to get set up correctly, so maybe one day in the future that you can sell it, you want to think about the structure that you're not going to be able to sell your Airbnb account, or you're going to have to do some type of legal work to be able to do that. The next thing is making sure you sanitize your expense. If your income expenses start showing more profit, it's all about how much profit that you can show for the previous year. So do that tax planning. And the third thing is really get your business operating without you being the face of it, without your daily interactions. So see if you can take a break from your business. And if you can, then most likely you have a sellable asset. And that is what you want. If you're looking for more ways to increase your income or reduce your expenses, you know what to do. Just subscribe.